Hello everybody, welcome back for a weekly update in our backyard, showing our garden. Before you watch this video, just make sure you go back and watch the previous videos. Actually the video we started on May 27th. Okay, that's when we first planted this garden. So just go back and check those videos out just to make sure you can see the progression of the garden as we move forward. Alright, today's date is June the 21st, 2020, Father's Day. Okay, so we're going to do another update to the garden. And the first place I'm going to start is over here. And this is where we got the kale in. And what we did, we basically bought some hardware cloth and just nailed it to the wood. We're trying to keep the butterflies out. And the reason why, those little white butterflies, they're basically the cabbage butterflies. They lay eggs on a plant and the caterpillars hatch and they eat up all the greens. So I made this little contraption. Hopefully it works. You know, see the holes are small so that the caterpillar, that the butterfly can't get in. There's a couple of little openings right here, but I doubt if they find that. But if any case, it should hold back the amount of butterflies that we usually get, because before when we tried this in the summertime, the whole plant was just infested. They just ate everything up. All the leaves were full of caterpillars. It got to the point where, like, you come out and pick them every day. What was that? Look at that smoke right there. You hear that? See? Something just went off. I don't know what that was. You see the smoke right there coming up out the clouds? It's like somebody, maybe it's a firecracker, I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Look, everybody's coming out the house to see what happened. So they would infest the plants, and then we have to end up getting rid of it. I would come back every day and pick those caterpillars off of there, and it's like as soon as I pick them, it'd be 1,000 more. So I just got tired of putting greens out here, and I wouldn't do it. So this year I'm going to try this out, and so far it's doing it. It's pretty good. So let's come in here and just check this out. This is a little flat we made. Me and my wife made this, and you can zoom in and you can see the kale is doing pretty good. So I hope that this little contraption we made works, but so far so good. I don't see any caterpillar damage, but we'll wait and see. But it should keep them out. It should keep them out of here. I'm gonna throw that back. I'll do that later though. But anyway, so that is the kale. Let's come over here. And here are the zucchini plants that I planted. And as you can see, if you compare them each week, you can see they grew a lot bigger from when I first put them down. Here's that red lettuce plant. And here's 2 more zucchini plants. And they all came up. I put 3 more seeds down, and they're doing pretty good so far. I'm keeping an eye out for those vine borer moths and for their eggs on the plant. I showed in another video that I put aluminum foil around the base of the plant. So go back and check that out, and I'm hoping that will work this year. Because also, just like the kale, in the previous years we had some good zucchini. They were big. They were coming up nice. The plant was beautiful. And maybe we'll show that in the video like last year. And then all of a sudden, the next day you come outside and the plant is like drooping over. And I thought it was the stink bugs. I thought it was those squash bugs, but it wasn't. It was actually the vine borer. And I didn't even know about it at that time. So that's just something to keep an eye out for. I'm gonna try to stop them this year. Hopefully that aluminum foil will work. All right. So let's get to it. Let's go back over here. I showed you in the video before where I planted 3 cucumber plants, and as you can see, they're doing very well. And right behind it, we got our tomato plants. And as you can see, they're doing excellent. I don't know, I can't see any tomatoes on this one or not. But look at the one in the middle. Now, I had 3 tomato plants. And the one in the middle is different than these 2. They're all supposed to be cherry tomatoes. But you know, sometimes when you go to the nursery, they'll label stuff wrong sometimes. And you get the wrong plant and you don't find out later on, like for instance, bell pepper. They'll label it a bell pepper. But then when as the plant grow up, you find out it's a hot pepper. So sometimes you gotta be careful of that too when you go to nurseries. All right. But in any case, we'll find out. So this one's doing pretty good. It's got a lot of tomatoes on it, and you can see they're growing very well. All right. Oh yeah, one more point about the tomatoes. So every year I would plant tomatoes, and I would let some fall on the ground. And they'll fall on the ground and they'll come up next year. But because the weather was so cold this year, we usually get a whole bunch of tomato plants that's just popping up out of the yard. And those would actually be, I wouldn't buy any tomatoes at all. Actually, that's what I would use. Every year, I look forward to the tomatoes coming up. And then I would take those tomatoes that come up in the yard and I would go and plant them in the garden. And then I'd keep doing it. But this year, only one came up. And it was inside of here. It was inside of here, inside of the fence right here. Stuck right in the fence. So I dug it up, and I'm gonna show you later in the video where I put it, okay? I didn't want it to die, so I didn't want to leave it in the fence. And since it came up and it was the only one left out of all those years of planting tomatoes back here, I wanted to make sure you keep it going, all right? So anyway, I just had to bring that up. All right, so over here, here are the bell peppers. As you can see, I put hay. I bought some more hay like I said I was going to do and put it around the garden. These are the bell peppers. Everything is doing fine. Behind them, you can come up this way. You can get this angle. And you can see these are the jalapenos. They're flowering right now. And these are the bananas, and they're getting bushier. Get that leaf out of there. There you go. So it's getting, everything is growing nicely. And look how big the eggplants have get. I've got. See? And here's that one leaf. So I think I pretty much stopped the insect that was chewing on the plant. Because look at the new leaves. The new leaves look good. But look, see, that's the old leaf. When I first bought it from the nursery, as I said in the previous video, it had bugs on it. All right. And step over here. Check out the watermelons. They're looking pretty good. So this week right here, let me see if any flowers on any of them yet. But this week right here, we're gonna get flowers on these watermelons. So as you can see, they're starting to spread now. I mean, also I had one plant in the window upstairs, and I had it in the pot. I had it in one of these little pots, and we had some seeds. And here it is right here. I was gonna let it die, so I wasn't not gonna do anything with it because I didn't feel like I had any room for it. But I said, you know what, I'm just going ahead and plant it anyway. And here it is right here. So I went on to put it out. So now I have 10 watermelon plants out here. So I'm going to go ahead and let that one grow. This to be the late bloomer. All right. And also throughout the week, I forgot to tell y'all, I also bought some twine, as you can see. And I put the twine up. Bought some poles and stuck it in it, and I just tied the twine to the fence. You know, just try to hold the tomato plant in. Because of these rails, these plants get so big that they just outgrow that. And eventually they might even fall over. But with this, it should be fine. I should be able to keep most of the plant inside and make it easier to harvest. Okay? All right. come down. And this is the crackpot zucchini. I moved it from the stool and I put it on this tire because it's probably not gravity. It's up too high on that stool. So this is my crackpot zucchini. And you know what I mean if you go back to other videos. You want to call it the crackpot zucchini. And you can see it's doing really well. I mean, it has gotten huge. It's got some giant leaves on it. And it looks beautiful. That compost in there that we have in the composting is really, it shows you how good that compost works. There's no manure in here, just compost. As I told you in other videos. Okay? So that's the crackpot zucchini. Excellent. Doing very, very well. Alright, also now, here's the cucumbers. As you can see, they also are starting to grow wild. They're starting to come out. And this week they should have flowers on it too, as well. And it might just be all over the place by the end of the week. They're really starting to grow. Okay, and here is the snap beans. And the snap beans are coming up nicely. I got some more coming up in the back, little ones. So when these grow up, then I got more coming up in the back. So, like I said, this is the first time I ever planted cucumber in a pot, or even tried that in a pot. This is an experiment, you know. When you try stuff, sometimes when you're gardening, it's an experiment. You just do what you can. And also, I want to say, when you plant in your garden, there's no, you know, as you watch YouTube and you see other people with their gardens, everybody got their own plan. I applaud everybody who's doing it. You know, everybody trying to, you use what you can. You know, yeah, people throw stuff away, and for instance, these cages right here, somebody threw these away. I had these for years. That's why they all bent up like that. But as long as they still work, I'm gonna still use them. There's no, you know, I bought one new one right here. But as long as they work, I'm gonna still use them. Okay? So, like I said, I applaud everybody and their methods, how they do it. You know, people do it in different ways. You know, people may not use grass like the way I use grass. They might not go to the woods and get the dirt underneath the leaves and dig it up and use that dirt and mix it in your dirt. But I'm telling you, that dirt in the woods is some rich dirt. Yeah, so people might not use the ash from the grill, you know, but the ash from the grill is good compost to mix into your garden. So there's other methods people use. And see, that's our brother Squirrel right there. He's coming to check out the video. Anyway, so come over here, and I want to show you the blackberries. They're starting to turn red now. So pretty soon, we should be eating a whole bunch of those. All right. So the garden is doing pretty good. Like I said, we just update you every week. Just be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share the video, because anybody can garden and anybody can do this, and especially during this time when there's going to be food shortages and everything. So just be mindful of that you can use broken pots, you can use anything, but you can plant a garden. And even in a small space, you watch YouTube videos, the majority of people have these big old yards. They have these big giant yards, and you know, and they have all this stuff in here. But we're going to show you how much food that you can get out your backyard. All right. Oh, one more thing, I made an update video because I planted potatoes in the middle right here. I forgot about that. In this area right here, I planted potatoes. I planted red potatoes inside of the ground right here. So we're gonna wait to see what happens with those, to see what they come up. Okay. So just one thing I forgot to mention. If you have a patio, if you have pots, you know, and a lot of stuff you don't even have to spend money on. Like I said, the dirt in the woods is free. When people cut grass, they throw their grass away, or you go in the field next to you, or compost the leaves, whatever. Take your lawnmower, and instead of just throwing stuff away, run your lawnmower over that stuff, and put it and put it in the compost bin. Mix it into your soil. A lot of stuff is for free, and Epsom salt is cheap. You know, a lot of things you can use for your garden is cheap. You don't really have to have a lot of money, okay? But the proof is in what comes out when you get your fruit or when you get your vegetables. That's when the proof comes out at. All right, so we'll watch for that and stay tuned for that. Anyway, y'all have a nice Father's Day, and thank you for watching my video. All right, so here's that tomato plant that I dug up earlier. So this is the one that came up, and I put a little fence, you know, just a little fence around it, and I'm gonna let it grow right here. But look how small it is. So we're gonna watch the progress of this, and I put a little hay around it. I dug up the soil, you know, I mixed the soil up, put a little compost and stuff underneath it, and so we're gonna see the progress of this tomato plant as it come up. And to my surprise, guess what I found? Right next to it, look at that. Another tomato plant came up. See how small it is? This is his tomato plant. Came up on its own. I was like, wow. So right where I actually dug and put this one at, right next to it, just a little ways, is another tomato plant. So I'm gonna try to figure out what to do with that one, because I don't know if it's gonna do anything or not, just because the ground is, I mean, it could grow on its own, but if I enhance the ground, it actually probably, I can get it to fruit, okay? And then right next to that, that's right next to our grapevine, by the way. See? This is our grapevine. And right next to the grapevine, look, another watermelon plant came up. So we got like seeds. I think the birds or the animals, I don't know, actually disperse the seeds throughout the yard, because I can't tell you how a tomato plant got this far back. Because if you look back this way, the garden is back that way. And that tomato plant is all the way right here where it came up at. And I just saw it just now today. So, but anyway, that's the one I dug up. That one came up. And right next to it, my son planted some, he wanted to plant some beans in the ground. So look, see the beans that's coming up? It's actually making the ground protrude up. You got a little bean coming up out of there. Right there, you can see it in there. And they got beans coming up in the back row. So he went and did this on his own. You know, that's a little bean coming up. So okay, let's see what happens. Let's see how his beans turn out. All right, well, that was my update. I was just showing you exactly what I put that watermelon, that tomato plant, which is that right down there. And another one came up right next to it. All right, stay tuned for next week's video.